everybody, it's Alyce-Kay from Threshold of Hineni, and I'm here to show you a couple more pockets. And like I said, I'm trying not to let these videos get too incredibly long, so I might post like one day and one another day, or even a couple each day until we get our journals put together, because I do want to have them put together basically by the end of May so that we can start working on them in June. And of course, you know, you're welcome to watch these videos at any time. You don't have to do them on my schedule, but that's the schedule that I need to work on because of what I've promised and just how it works. So I'm going to show you a couple more pockets, and in case I forget to say at the end, like I forgot to say in that one, after I show you these, then go ahead and try putting some using that method on several different pages, and then you know you've got plenty of pages, so we'll be trying all different kinds of pockets. Okay, so I want to show you, I don't know why I just distressed that, because there's no point in it for what I'm going to do. I want to show you another kind of pocket, because this kind of pocket, your basic pocket that we just did, you can put some things in. In this one you could probably put like 2 or 3 things, and in this one probably just one. All right, but while I've got this out, I'm going to show you a way to make it so that the pocket is a little roomier, and you can put thicker things or you can put more things into it. Sometimes I like to fold up a piece of paper to stick in there so that I have more writing space that I'm putting in the pocket. So it's very simple. All you have to do is you're going to fold up the bottom just a little bit. I'll fold this and then I'll measure it so I can tell you how much. And you know, measurements just estimate, but I'm just measuring it to give you an idea. It's about I guess that'd be like 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so it's about 1 centimeter. Okay, if you have a centimeter ruler, don't sit there and measure it. That's just to give you an idea. But you're going to fold the bottom, you're going to fold the sides. Okay, the same amount. Okay, so I folded the bottom and I'm going to fold the sides. There you go. Okay, now what happens though is that you might have like a little bit sticking out at the edge here, like I do there, and it just gets really bulky in the corners. So what I like to do is open this back up, and then I can see the lines from where I folded it. Hopefully you can see that too. And I just clip right across the corner. I actually clip off just a tiny bit of the corner itself, okay, of the pocket, and that way you don't end up with so much bulk. And again, I'm saving these little corners, and you'll see why later on, much later. So just trust me for now. Okay, so then I fold that back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue on this part. I'm not going to glue on the pocket itself. I'm gluing on this part that we folded, and I'm going to stick it down. And that just makes the pockets a little roomier. Can you see already, even when I'm just holding it down, how it's roomier? Okay, so let's do that. This is that page, and yes, I'm doing it right across from it, but it's not going to end up right across from it, because when I put it back in the book, see how it's going to be like all those pages apart. So, and I like to work on both sides before I put it back in, just to kind of get it done, and also because that sort of spreads it out. Because if I do it on the same piece of paper, but there's going to be all those pages in the middle, that means that there's going to be a lot of space between this pocket and the ones that are just like it. Okay, so I'm going to put my glue just on this. See, like that. Right there on the edge. Not all the way over to this edge, but to this edge, what ends up being like the inside edge. And same thing with this. So there's no glue down in the very corner, and that's okay, because this is all going to hold it in place. But it's just going to make for a roomier pocket. It takes a little bit more time, but it's worth it. You're going to be happy. You're going to thank me that I taught you to take a little more time doing this. Okay, so I always put down the bottom first, wherever I want to put it. Sometimes you want your pockets up higher. Okay. And I don't have this exactly centered. I would have rather have centered it, but I didn't get it down quite right, and that's fine. It's not the end of the world. That's another nice thing about junk journals, is that they're supposed to be like really imperfect. Okay, and if you're a perfectionist, that's fine. You could make yours perfect. But do you see how much more space I have there? Okay, I love that. I love that I have more space there. If you're sewing it on, I don't think there's really a way to do that, as far as I know. So this is a way that you can only do if you're gluing. Okay, so let me look at my list here of pockets. Okay, so another thing that I like to do is, let's just go ahead and do this on the back. Okay, so we're going to use this purple one for this. And I'm just going to do a simple pocket for this. I'm not going to fold it because it's already kind of small. Okay, so we're going to do our distressing. Actually, I'm going to clip the corners first. Hello. When I'm talking, I can't think as well. All right, so I'm going to clip the corners. There we go. I'm saving those little pieces in my little spoon rest. And then I'm going to put my glue back there so it's ready. And I'm going to distress my edges because I just like them distressed. It helps if I actually use the ink pad. I like them distressed. You can do whatever you want. I still haven't decided if I'm going to use lace in this journal or not. I love using lace. I'm just not sure if that's like inappropriate for Abraham. Is it about Abraham or is it about me? It's kind of a work between us, right? Okay, I'm going to use some of this coffee dyed. Ooh, I like how this part is like browner and stuff. That makes it look really old. Okay, so I'm going to use some of this coffee dyed cheesecloth. And I'm just going to do a really simple thing. I'm going to cut it. Don't worry about cutting it evenly because if you're using cheesecloth, you want it to look all ragged, right? So I'm cutting some cheesecloth and I'm going to just put this at the bottom, I think. Now, I think I like that rolled edge. I think that's kind of cool. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so there's two ways that you can do this. No, actually I don't like the rolled edge. I'm going to put that underneath the pocket. And you just kind of, you decide things as you do them because you see how it looks and do I like that or not. All right, I cut that bigger than the pocket so that some can stick out on each side too. That curled up part. Okay, so I can just glue this down. And if I just put the glue on the back of the pocket, it'll go through the cheesecloth because the holes are really big in between. But what I like to do is I prefer to sew it on. And I went ahead and got the right thread into my machine. And for me, it's not a matter of having a thread that matches so much as I don't like to use white thread with coffee dyed stuff. I prefer to use a brown thread with that. So I have kind of a khaki colored thread. And so, okay, so I've got the cheesecloth the way that I want it on the pocket, and I'm just gonna zigzag that to the pocket before I put it on the page. So I'm just zigzagging. Oops. Oh, I haven't put the bobbin in. That'll only take me a second. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Come on. There we go. I have this really, really wonderful sewing machine that my husband gave me, and it actually threads itself. So it's really cool. I like it because I don't have to thread it. Okay, so I'm going to just put the bobbin in really quickly. Helps if I take out the white bobbin that I had in. Oh dear. Okay, there we go. And what do I do with the lid? Here it is. Okay, so now we're going to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the cheesecloth onto the bottom, but I'm also going to go ahead and zigzag on the top. I think I'm going to sew this particular pocket onto the page so that you can see how that works. But I want to sew the top, obviously, before I put it on the page, because if I sew the top on the page, then you can't open it, right? Makes sense. You got to think through these things ahead of time a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to sew the cheesecloth on first, and I'll show you what that looks like after I sew it on. I don't try to get it all even, because, things don't get all raggedy all even. I've got this on zigzag, right? Nope, I don't have it on zigzag. There we go. All right, so I've got it on zigzag. There we go. Okay, and this sewing machine even cuts the thread for me, but it does leave some hanging, which I like. See, I like that kind of shabby chic kind of look where it's hanging like that. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Cool, right? Isn't that really neat? Okay, with the cheesecloth at the bottom. I'm going to sew just across the top just to give it a finished look because that's what I like to do. You do not have to sew at all if you don't want to. You just sew if you want to. I just really love sewing. I also think that when I sew on the paper, it makes the paper a little sturdier, I've noticed. So there's always that too. Okay, so see, you can hardly even see that it's zigzagged, but I do that, and I've got my threads. I just leave my threads hanging there. I don't trim those because I'm going for the shabby chic look. You know what? I'm not going to sew it to the page because I've got a pocket on the other side and I would end up sewing on that pocket, so I'm not going to sew it to that page. So I'm just going to glue this one on. Okay, and I'm going to glue this one down all the way at the bottom, and the reason for that is because I want this cheesecloth to hang out the bottom of the journal because it'll just make the whole journal look kind of raggedy and old. Okay, so I'm not trying to make this like Abraham wrote it. You could do it that way if you want. That would be kind of cool, like Abraham's journaling about his travels and his life, and if any of you want to do that, you're welcome to. For me, I have too many other things that I'm writing, and so I just want this to be about me and what I learned from Abraham, not a story about him. But it would be very cool if somebody wanted to make it like it's Abraham's journal. I think that would be very, very cool. Okay, so, and I centered it. You don't have to center it. You can choose wherever you want to put it. But I want the cheesecloth hanging out the bottom, and I want it centered, so that's what I did. Okay, so that's all glued in. And I did get that glue a little gloppy, but it's okay because I've got a pocket there. Okay, and I have a little, piece of junk mail postcard that I cut up that I always just stick in there just to make sure I didn't glue it someplace that it shouldn't be glued. That's my little precaution. Okay, so we're going to put it back together. Okay, here's where I have it in the pages. So when we're going through our journal, we've got this double pocket here that we did last time, and then we've got this pocket. Well, we've got actually 3 pockets. We've got the first pocket that we did. What happened to that? Oh, I bet is it the other way? Well, we did another pocket at some point. Maybe it was, I've got this upside down, that's why. Okay, so we've got the very first pocket that we did, which is right there, okay? And then we've got this pocket, and then we've got these pockets that we just did last time and right now, okay? So those are the pockets that we've just done. And then when I close it, that's what it looks like with that cheesecloth hanging out the bottom. It looks very cool, right? Okay, so that's all I'm going to show you today. So here's what I want you to do is use the 3 methods that we already learned, where you do just a simple pocket, make like 2 or 3 of those in your journal, and make a simple pocket that has a side opening, and make a layered type of pocket where you either have one pocket on top of another or out to the side, and then make one that has the little folds on the side to give you some more room. You can make I'd say make at least 2 of each of those just so that you know how to do it and so that you're filling your journal up a little bit more. And next time I will show you another pocket that you can make. All right, I love you all. Bye-bye. See you later.